This is not just a podcast. This is a safe space. This is a movement. This is a place where we talk about the unspoken struggles, where we talk about the truth behind ambition, and where we talk about how we're going to transform into the best version that we actually already are. Welcome to the very first episode of Power and Presence, the podcast. This podcast has been long awaited, and I'm super excited that it's finally here. So in this first podcast, I really think it's important that you guys get to know me and that you also know what this podcast is going to be about and what you can expect in the upcoming episodes. So some of you have been following me on Instagram for years and others don't know me. So I also want to quickly introduce myself before we get into some questions that I got from the Instagram stories, where I asked you guys to ask me questions that we can maybe answer in the podcast. So here we go. My name is Aarti. I'm 35 years. Ooh, I'm 34. I'm 34, guys. I'm 35 this year. Don't make me older than I already am. Okay, so I'm 34, on the brink of 35, and I live in Amsterdam. But I'm originally not from Amsterdam. I come from Zoetermeer, which is like near The Hague in the Netherlands. I have been a mini entrepreneur all my life. I did my studies in the Erasmus University. I studied marketing management, and I had a master's. I completed my master's in marketing management. And after I graduated, I moved to Amsterdam to pursue my entrepreneurial dreams. I did a short period in sales. Then I founded a creative marketing agency. And a lot of you also know me from that agency because I used to post a lot about that agency. I had a marvelous time, but I will explain to you later on in the Q&A section of this video why I ended the company and what I'm doing right now. This entrepreneurial spirit brought me to start my first company at 19 years old. That's where I founded my dance school. I teach Zumba classes in The Hague. It was my first entrepreneurial experience. Then I got into sales, and then I got into marketing. And right now what I'm doing is that I'm pursuing what I really feel that my purpose is. And I know that purpose is maybe a little bit of a cliche word, but you can call it calling, you can call it purpose. I call it truth, because actually when you peel down the layers of what you think that you should be doing, the truth arises. So I'm so glad that you guys are joining me on my path of walking my truth. And the podcast is one of the initiatives that I want to share my truth with you guys and share all this knowledge that we have together. So now let's get into why. Why power and presence, and what's my why behind this podcast? For me, it's very important to stress that starting this podcast is not just because I like to talk or I want to share some knowledge, because I really do, but it's definitely also because it's super undeniable to me that this is what I have to do. I remember, let me tell you a story that I remember going to India for the first time, and it was in 2019. And I did all these cleansing rituals over there, resetted myself. I went to Sadhguru's ashram, the Isha Foundation. And I remember coming back and being so pure and so cleansed that I just took my phone, put it down, and started recording the Ask Arty show. And I didn't think about it 1 second. I didn't think about it at all. So why are we here today, and what's power and presence? I noticed that in life you can go through hardship, you can go through personal development, you go through a lot of things. And what I came across is that it's not always easy to find a place or a community or a conversation or somebody, at least if it's one person, to come home to when you don't know all the answers. And when you don't know the answers or you get a little bit lost, you really tend to get lonely. I mean, life goes on, you perform, you go to work, you try to make it at your career, but there's not a space where you can park your thoughts and your doubts and also your joys and just developing and feeling understood and seen. So this podcast is definitely about how do I get to that highest version of myself? How do I tap into my highest self? And where is the safe space to unwind and also know that the part of me that is not there yet, the part of me that is doubting, the part of me that doesn't always know what to do and is not always in charge, is also allowed to be there. So this podcast is a safe space, and Power and Presence is not just a podcast, it's also going to be a community, it's also going to have masterclasses, events, and everything. So for me, it's an outpouring of ambition, understanding, presence, and community to make sure that everyone who wants to can have a place where they can recharge, be seen, and work on always being their highest self. Because let's be honest, we all have moments where we tap into our highest self and we feel that we can handle the whole world. But there's always a moment where you fall back. And I ask you to think about, how long does it take for you to get back up? I personally, I'm going to answer that question. Sometimes it took me 2 months, 6 months to get back up after I fell down or something happened. If only I had a community, if only there was a podcast, if only there was somebody, something that could lift me up from that low place I was at, to recognize me and my feelings and to tell me, girl, get up. And this is the podcast, this is the community, and this is the environment for that. Okay, guys, it's time for the next segment. And I'm going to bring back a surprise segment from the past, because we're going to bring back Ask Arty. And a few days ago, I asked you guys to ask me some questions through a question box on Instagram. And you guys did. So thank you so much. And we're going to get into a few questions now. All right. So you guys did a good job in asking questions. Thank you. This really is the start of our community. So I have a few questions to say. What is your hair color? Will you marry me? Where did you grow up? Do you have siblings? We're going to save that for another podcast. But what I am going to answer today is, somebody asked, what's my why? Well, I already explained that earlier in the podcast. Okay, so the first question is, capture yourself in 3 words. This is live, people. It's not live, but this is live because I didn't prepare. 3 words. Okay. 3 words would be, 3 words. I think powerful would definitely be one of them. Vulnerable will be the second one. And I think the third one would be funny. Not to say that I am funny, but I do think that when you look at my personality and when you also look at how I'm conducting the podcast or how I am on social media and in real life, there's a super serious side to me, a side that loves development, a side that loves spirituality, a side that loves also being disciplined and having goals and doing your thing, going for it and being a go-getter. Which can be a little bit boring. But then I also feel like, on the other hand, I love to have a laugh. I love to have fun. I love to not take things as serious. Or I love to take things not so serious, have fun. And also realize that life is not super, super, super. Life doesn't have to be super, super serious. It's even with gym goals or any goal that I have, I try not to get caught up in being too serious with life, because I also like to play with life. So I would say powerful, because I truly feel that there is strength in masculinity and femininity, which I try to embody both of, because we all have that. And then there's vulnerability, because somehow God sent me a sign and gave me the mission to be the vulnerable one of y'all. So I hope you guys are going to join me, because vulnerability and authenticity is something that goes hand in hand. And do you know that authenticity is the highest on the scale of vibrations? So you have a scale of vibrations, and guilt and shame is the lowest, and authenticity is the highest. And then below authenticity, you have love. Okay, see, this is my serious technical side again. But I believe that those are the 3 words to describe myself: powerful, vulnerable, and funny. Okay, question number 2. You give big sister energy. How is that? Okay, big sister energy. Yeah, I think I can understand where you're coming from. And I also think that you're referring to Ask Arty, and then putting myself down as someone who can answer questions. Well, I really think that the foundation of who I am is become what you are lacking in life. And truth be told, I have been missing big sister energy in my life all my life. And due to the absence of having big sister energy in my life, I really learned a lot. And having learned that, or having learned those lessons, made me a more resilient, smarter, more, I know how to cope with things better. And to me, it was very logical that if I learned all these lessons through hardship, that it's logical for me to pass down that knowledge and experience to others. And it's not that I want to have big sister energy, or I want to be the one who spreads the knowledge. I don't. I seriously don't. I'm just like you. We're all the same. But if there's a possibility that I can make somebody feel like they are supported in a way that I never felt supported, because of what I know now, because of my age, my experience, and what I went through, then that's what I'm going to do. So if that's what you call big sister energy, that's me. We're going to do one more question, and it's going to be, it says, do you have something on your bucket list? On my bucket list, okay. I have a lot on my bucket list, but truth be told, what I have on my bucket list is to truly live out my biggest life ever. So that means traveling through the United States, having work gigs in London, having performing gigs in the United States, being a talk show host, being a part of influential people. I don't want to say celebrities, but definitely people that are game changers in the world. There are big, big, big dreams. So if you say bucket list, it's not, I want to go to Japan. I definitely want to go to Japan one day. But it is doing and living my wildest dream. So it's not just a bucket list thing. It's fulfilling my purpose. It's walking my calling, walking my truth. That's actually what's the biggest thing on my bucket list. And I truly believe that when I walk that truth, that things that I really like are going to follow automatically. So maybe countries I want to see, people I would like to meet, it's going to come together. And I'm just going to continue walking my truth. Okay, let's go to the next question. Okay, this one I got a few times, and I understand why. But pay attention, because today I'm going to tell you guys. It says, you have had a company in social media. What happened to it, and what is the work that you do now? All right, listen. Like I said, some of you know me from my social media creative agency. And what happened was the following. So I had that agency, and I studied marketing, and I knew how to do the drill. And I knew that I was giving it my all, and I knew that I was building a marketing agency. But I also noticed that just because it means that you can do something, that it comes natural to you, or you know how to make money with something, doesn't mean that your heart is in it. And honestly, in the marketing agency, I just noticed that I was giving a whole lot of myself and feeling that I didn't get a lot of it for in return. So I was giving a lot of energy. Let's say I was giving 110% of my personal precious energy, and I was getting 10% back. So honestly, that went on for a while, but I was in that hustle modus, I was in that hustle mode trying to make it happen. So definitely I wasn't ready to quit. I was like, okay, I founded this company and I'm gonna give it my all. So what happened is slowly I started to get more burned out from that company. I'm telling you, like the phone rang and it just gave me anxiety, or I got an email and just gave me anxiety. So I slowly started to get burned out. And that's when I had God's calling on my life. I kid you not. I kid you not. I cannot make this up. So what happened? I knew inside, like I wanted to do something else, or I wanted to get out of this whole rat race of this company that I built for myself. And then I had a divine intervention. After this happened to me, I was sure that God was, had my back. That's one thing I can tell you for sure, because in the time before, I kind of felt like, hello, God, can you hear me? I know I don't pray a lot, or I don't pray enough, but are you even here? Because this is hard. This life is hardcore, what I'm trying to build, and I'm really trying my best, but I feel that you're not around. And I tell you, the moment this happened, I knew that I had the presence of God in my life. I had divine presence in my life. So I'm going to tell you what happened. I started to get a lot burned out from my company. And then I had a client and she told me, Arty, you are so smart. You know how to do stuff. Why don't you apply as a freelancer? You are a professional in communications and marketing. Why don't you just hire yourself out to companies as a professional? And I was like, okay, yeah, sure. I wasn't interested because I was still trying to build this company up to a huge company. So I wasn't interested, and she was working as a freelancer herself next to her company, and she was my client. So we kind of became friends. And I remember being in Barcelona on holiday, and she called me and she was like, listen, I sent you a job vacancy and it's still open and it's perfect. It's for you. It's as a social media coordinator for the government. They pay good. You need to jump on this right now. This is made for you. So I was like, okay, sure, whatever. She's like, listen, I've been calling you for a few times. I'm not going to call you again. This is for you. I'm not doing it for me. I'm doing it for you. So I was like, okay, listen. So I was on my holiday. I had my laptop with me and I just sent my CV. I was like, whatever. So long story short, I had the interview. They hired me within 10 minutes. And to the creative agency, I had a full work week at the government, at the Immigration Services of the Netherlands, where I was a interim freelancer. And I was a social media specialist to build the team over there. And it was super different, but also it was a super professional environment. And at that moment, I knew, first I didn't understand because I was like, what's this move? I'm trying to be a big boss entrepreneur and you're sending me to be a freelancer in the story of somebody else, aka the government. I don't understand. But what happened is that what I didn't know is when I was struggling and when I had that burnout, I asked God for something. And I asked him, please help me to get paid what I am worth. Bring me to places, spaces, people, environments, companies where they pay me what I'm worth. And that's what he did. Because although it's a government, although it's not a creative environment, I got to work on a strategic level. I got to work on a corporate level, and create a team, just put my talents to work differently. And I also got paid differently than I did in my agency. So if you guys want to ask me what happened to my agency, what happened to my creative agency, and what am I doing now, my creative agency, along the way when I was working for the IND as a freelancer, I just realized, listen, I actually don't want this company. I actually don't want this creative agency. It's just something that I started, that I tried, but it's not for me. Great experience, because that's the whole reason why I am that skilled in what I do, and why I even got the opportunity to sit at a table where I'm sitting right now, is because of the expertise and the skills that I gained with my whole experience. I'm talking my studies, my master's, my experience in marketing, and my creative agency. So yeah, that's the full story. And currently I'm still doing that. My role did change a bit because they hired me in the past years for different jobs. Because I'm a freelancer, I have an assignment, I solve it, I help them build something up, and then I leave. And basically, I'm a freelancer getting hired by other companies or organizations or corporates to help them build something up in the field of communications or marketing. Thank you for watching, guys. And finally, what I want to give to you is a lesson that I've learned recently that changed my life, is that there is no other way to live your life than to live it big, bold, and to the truest version of who you are. And people that have been following me know that I say that a lot. But the reason I say it is because we have so much conditioning. We have so many environmental voices around us that we internalize. And you know what to do. You know what you want. And what I want to give to you is that do whatever you need to do to tap into that voice that you have, that truth that you know that you have, what you feel inside that you have to do. Because honestly, a lot of people that I see around me, they feel lost. They feel they don't know what to do next. You know what to do next. You just feel that it's not aligned with what people expect you to do. That's it. You need to step up for you. And I promise you this, and this podcast is a testament to that. There are people that love you and appreciate you for your God-given talents and your God-given character and personality and everything that you are. You don't have to be anything other than what you are. And once you accept yourself and love yourself, you can also boldly say to the world, this is me. And then you can see that all the answers that you need are already inside of you. So the next episode is going to be about reinventing yourself. Don't forget to hit the like button, hit the subscribe button if you want to see more of this content. Also, if you have interesting guests that you want me to interview in the Netherlands or in the UK or in Europe, please let me know. Definitely drop the name of that person in the comment section. I will be interacting with you guys. Find me on Instagram. You can send me a DM. Thank you so much and see you next time. Bye.